How's it going, guys? Welcome back to another Godot video, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make a main menu. So that's it, let's get right into it. So we're going to start by creating a brand new scene, and we're going to make this a user interface scene here, and we're going to just call this a main menu. Save it in our scenes folder here. Okay, now I have actually put some textures here that we can use for our main menu here. Now you're going to need at least a buttons texture and a button pressed texture if you want to create a button. Now, why is that? Well, because you actually want to visually represent the button being pressed, of course. Now, if you want to make a hover texture, you can also do that. So that's it. Let's go ahead and add our first child node here. It's going to be a normal rectangle, a color rectangle. And what that will have is a solid color, for example, the sky color, like so. And we can go ahead and make it bigger. But this doesn't really look too good, does it? Like, if you want to have a actual, background, you don't want to have that. So what you want to do is, of course, create a brand new sprite 2D here and put your custom background texture or sky texture, whatever you want, in here. And there you go. You can go ahead and scale it to your liking. You can hold shift to keep the aspect ratio the same. And there we go. You have our background here. Now the next step is, of course, creating the button. And with that said, you have actually multiple types of buttons. You have a check button, a color picker button, a menu button, an option button, link button, texture button. Now, if you want a normal button, just use the normal, button node here. But if you want an actual textured button, if you want to have your own texture, just go ahead and choose the texture button. I'll show you an example of both. So if you create a normal button here, we can go ahead and make it slightly bigger. As you can see, this takes in a solid color and takes in a text here. So we can say, for example, play. As you can see, it isn't really too special. As you can see, it's just a play button. It has its automatic textures here as hovers and as click, but it doesn't really look too interesting, so we really don't want that. What we really want here is the texture button, since that will allow us to put our own custom textures. You might notice at the beginning here, of course, there's nothing inside because it's expecting you to put your own textures. So you want to go into the texture tab here, and this is what I mean by different textures. So for example, here in the normal, you want to go ahead and put your normal texture like so. As you can see, now you can go ahead and, of course, scale the texture up if you want to by going down into layout here, and then go ahead and raise up the scale. So for example, we wanted something like 2, for example. There we go. That is a decent scale that we can work with. And the next step here is, of course, making the hover button, since right now, as you can see, if I go ahead and play the game and I try to click the button, it is clicking. It's just not really, visually clicking. So what you want to do is you want to go into the pressed area here, and you want to take your pressed texture like so. And if I go ahead and run it again, as you can see, it will visually demonstrate that the button is being pressed. Let's go ahead and change the scale up a little bit here, since this is a little too small. There we go. And let's say you have a play button. Now, how do you actually program it? Well, you go into the main menu here. You want to go ahead and actually create a brand new script. You want to call it main menu. Let's put it all the way back in our code folder right here and create. And now you want to go to your texture button, whatever it is. Let's go ahead and actually rename it to play to make it a little more clearer. And now we want to go to node, and then you want to go to button pressed or pressed. Now there's multiple nodes that signals that you can actually use here. You have the button down, button up, and they all do different things, but what we want is just the simple press here. You can go ahead and connect it to the main script, and in here you do whatever you want. For example, what I'm doing here is that I want to actually make it go to the level 1 world, which is in our scenes folder here under scenes levels level 1 world. And now if I go ahead and run the thing here, I can go ahead and actually select our current thing here, because this is going to be our main menu. So you want to go ahead and click select current, and this should go ahead and make this the default. So if you go ahead and run the entire script, it will make this the default. Now if I go ahead and click the button, it's just going to teleport us to the first level. Just like last time, when we go here, it teleports us to the second level, and you can just make the chain of the game go on and on. So yeah, there we go. That was a simple main menu. If you enjoyed it, if you learned anything new, make sure to like and subscribe. Comment down below if you want any specific topic covered, and I will see you guys in the next video.